Hey, how are you doing? Welcome back to my class. Today I'm going over what is Equatio. So Equatio is two different things. The first thing is it's a Chrome extension, which means that it's something I can download and it's a tool that I can use to help me. So for example, if I am in this lovely Google drawing I made in one of the classes last week, if I click my Equatio extension, that little blue triangle or diamond up top, what I can do is I can add math to it using this tool. And you see it's down there. Part of it's kind of being covered by my stuff for the screencast recording, but right there you can see all the different tools that we're going to be going over today. And again, you can use these in Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Drawing, any of those Google tools. You cannot use it, however, in Schoology. It doesn't work with Schoology. They don't talk to each other. Equatio also has this program called MathSpace that you see right here. And in this MathSpace, you can also do your math work so that you can see, so that you can show us your work, show us what you know, and type things without making it too ugly. Type math things without making it too ugly. So like I said, down here we've got this lovely toolbar. In this toolbar, you can create math, you can create shapes, graphs, angles, drawings, so much more, and they have a Desmos calculator embedded there for you, so that's perfect for what we're going to be using it for. The first tool we're going to talk about is the equation editor, and what this does is it types what you want, and it converts it into math. It turns it into a picture for you. So it's this one on the far left of the Equatio toolbar at the bottom. So if I click that, I can type out whatever math I want. So for example, let's do 9x minus 2 is equal to, let's say 16. And then I want to insert the math. There's usually a button down there. So usually there's a button that says insert math, but because my screen is split, it's smaller. And so it's that little check mark right there. And so I come up here and I see, oh, look at that math. I can make it bigger, I can make it smaller, and there it is. Again, when you type it all out down here, you have to insert it or it's not going to go up top. So make sure you insert the math. If I click on it and I click this edit math button, I can come back down here and I can change things. Maybe I don't like what I had before. Maybe I want to subtract 3. And then again, reinsert the math and it changes up there for me. So go ahead, pause the video, try that out on your own. To get rid of the math, you have this toolbar up top. There we go. Make sure it's clicked and highlighted, and then if you hit the delete, it'll go away. So after the equation editor, now we have the graph editor. This will come in really handy when we're in our algebra section. So it has that picture down at the bottom on my toolbar, graph editor. I can type in whatever equation I want. So maybe I want x squared plus 3. And then I see right there, it has my graph. Isn't that wonderful? It can tell me where points are at on my graph. I could draw on this graph if I wanted to, and we'll get to that at the end. So if I want that graph gone, I just click the X and the graph is gone. Again, that's the graphing editor. Go ahead and try adding a graph there all on your own. Alrighty. So now our handwriting recognition tool, this is the one that I use the most often when I'm making your tests, when I'm making worksheets. Sometimes that math is really hard to type in, especially in Google Docs. So if you click that little pencil with an A, it'll pop up this handwriting section on the left part of your screen. I see I've got the math from that problem I had inserted earlier. I need to make sure I delete that. And let's do the square root of 8 plus 4. I write it out, and then I see on the right side, it turns it into math. Sometimes it'll have a little sad face or a little mad face, and that's because it doesn't recognize what you're trying to type. So you might have to work on your handwriting a little bit. But since mine's green, it's good. I can insert my math. And again, I can make it bigger or smaller. I can rotate my math if I want to make it fun or make it work on a line or write on a line or something like that. Again, if you want to delete it, make sure it's clicked and highlighted, and you can hit the delete button as well to get that gone. It recognizes all different sorts of handwritings. It's just really important that, see, for this example, I have 4 squared, but it read it as square root of 8 plus f. That's not right. So I want to undo that, and I'll try writing my 2 just a little bit better off to the side. And now it recognizes it as 4 squared. So it's not perfect. It just tries its best to read your handwriting. So if it's not recognizing it right away, try clicking that undo button up top and see if that helps you. So go ahead and try this out on your own. Okay, the next one that we're going to do is speech input. This one gets kind of tricky. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. In the Google Meet, I had to make sure your Google Meet microphone is muted so that we didn't hear everybody trying to talk to their program. But to get to the speech input, you click that microphone at the bottom. Oh, I want to delete that math before I get going. And then I would click on the button to start recording. I have to let it. 4x plus 7 equals 2. So as I see here, it didn't translate perfect, but I can just come in there and type that 4x and then insert my math, and I can just make that little fix. One of my friends in college, he actually broke both of his arms riding a dirt bike, and he was not able to write and do his work, so his mom had to come live with him in college for a month until he got his casts taken off. I bet he wishes he would have had this function so his mom didn't have to come live with him in college. Go ahead and try that speech input on your own. Again, if it's not perfect, you can either try saying it again, or you can try making those little adjustments like I did. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at all these different types of tools that we have in MathSpace that we can use. So I'm going to kind of slide this over a little bit so I have a little more room so you guys can see better. If you come down to this cursor, if you have a bunch of work on there, that just allows you to select and click on what you want. So maybe if you want to delete just a little bit of part of it, you need to make sure you come back to that clicker, because otherwise you might be writing or making shapes and you don't mean to. This old school pen, that allows you to draw. So I can come up here and write, I'll draw a picture of the sun. I've got this lovely picture of the sun because I can just draw whatever with that tool. You can change the colors, play around with it, and yay, that's all fun. If I want to get that sun gone, if I want to delete it, I need to go to my select tool, click around all of it, hit delete. Now, drawing suns is very fun, but what we're most likely going to be using that for would be something like this. If I have the absolute value of 8 minus 7 plus 12, I'm going to insert that math. Here's that regular insert math button. I might give you a problem like this. And then what I'm going to want you to do is to take your pen and solve it. I know 8 minus 7 is 1. And And I still have to add that 12 to it and take the absolute value. 1 plus 12 is 13. So I need the absolute value of 13, and that's equal to 13. So I might give you problems, I might give you assignments in this, because I'll be able to assign it to you once we build our class so that you can work out the problems and send it back to me. That way you basically have pencil and paper, and I don't have to, you have to worry about sending it to me in the mail. I don't have to be there to check your paper. So again, I'm gonna get rid of that. So I'm gonna come back to the selected tool. Oops. I wanna select all that and delete it. Go ahead and play around with the freehand drawing tool. Next are the shapes. There are all different kinds of shapes: circles, rectangles, squares, parallelograms, trapezoids, stars, lines. This is a path tool, and this just kind of lets you go back and forth between things. So if you make a graph, this might be a great way for you to draw a graph. You go up and down and up and down and up and down between your data points. They have literally like hundreds of things. They have money if you want to play around with money. So you've got your penny, your nickel, your dime, your quarter, your dollar, and you can play around with your coins. They have tanagrams and pentominoes. Those are just different shapes that you can play around with. Pattern blocks. This year when we're doing volume and surface area, we talk about it with cones. So maybe I'll give you a cone and I'll label it, and you'll have to find the volume for me and show your work on here. Again, there are so many different, there's Venn diagrams. So you could even use this for English class when you're having to compare and contrast things. So there's two different kinds of shapes. Those are just the regular shapes, and these ones are smart shapes. So that means I can draw an angle. So there's my angle, but I want it to be 87 degrees. Then boom, it gives me an 87-degree angle. They have fraction pieces, a protractor to measure angles, a grid. So you might need this for a probability. I don't know that you'll be using it a ton. Sorry, let me clear all this off real quick. Something that I know that we'll also probably be using this for is you can make a graph, coordinate plane, and it puts your little number lines on there for you. You can tell it how many tick marks you want it to have, and see it just adds tick marks. You can show the arrows or not. You can have the labels on there or not. Maybe I want the lines to go by tens. So 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. And the last thing on here is these STEM tools, and there's a scientific calculator there so that you don't have to leave this page to do your work. You can go ahead and type on here to help you solve your problems. Go ahead and play around with the rest of those tools. If you have questions on anything else on Equatio, let me know, and I'd be more than happy to help you with it. Have a good one.